So Loren recently made a video, and it's a video that I'm definitely going to get into in a second. But before we get into that video, I'm going to read what is in front of your screens right now, where Jamal decided to come out with this statement. Loren is a 34-year-old father, promoting the fact that he had gonorrhea, and he's trying to make a joke out of it. I know I joke around a lot, but calling yourself gonorrhea boy is disturbing and shows an extreme lack of self-respect and empathy to anyone that's been affected by his choices. His mentality is trash and vile. A lot of other cast members feel the same way. To be fair, I would like to see every single cast member that he's talking about come out to speak against Loren, because even though we have Jamie deciding to join in and support the statement by coming through and saying there are more effective and more respectful methods for yourself that help you overcome your problems, he needs help. What we do need, or what would have been cool, and this is something that we never see from 90 Day Cosmo, because none of them are teammates. They're all in it for themselves, which is fine. Which is fine. If you're all in it for yourself because you want to get TV, you want to get money, I get it. Do what you got to do. But because they are all in it for themselves, we will never get to a point where they all stand together to say no, to say enough is enough when it comes to how other people behave. I mean, listen, did we ever see any of the customers come out and say that, hey, Angela should not be on the show anymore? No, we didn't. Not enough. Okay, because you need the whole of them to come together, or at least most of them. This is what I'm saying. So even though Jamal was coming out with this, statement, it's a shame that Jamie's the only one that decided to, pretty much respond to it. Because it would have been important and it would have been beneficial if others came forward and said the same thing publicly. Because that's how you then get change that the audience needs. We need the change of getting Loren off of the show and never coming back again. Because we don't know if he's going to come back. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Okay, but also on top of that, speaking loudly about someone like a Loren means that the production should be more cautious moving forward about who they want to bring on to the show. Because as of late, they have been bringing on anybody. And let's just say a lot of us have been sitting there watching in disgust and watching with ourselves feeling sick to the stomach. But let's get into the video that is referred to when it comes to Loren promoting himself as gonorrhea fool.
It's a bacterial infection that you just take care of.
Boy, what's up?
It's like yeast infection, right?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing as a yeast infection or a UTI kind of thing, right? So it's a bacterial infection.
So this is obviously the video that Loren decided to make before Jamal made his statement. And I'm pretty sure this was before Jamal made his statement. But as you can see here, Loren is spreading misinformation out here. A yeast infection or a UTI is not the same as gonorrhea. They are not sexually transmitted diseases. Oh my God. So here's the thing. Now I'm going to say this because some people do say these things in the comments. The caption does read, I think I'm done posting about this idiot. And I know some people say that, hey, we should not be talking about certain people because talking about them is just promoting them or whatever it could be. But I guess it all depends on the content creator or the blogger, your purpose behind why you choose to talk about certain people and why you choose to not talk about anybody. Do you see what I'm saying? For me, myself in particular, I know that I have a certain someone that I definitely would never speak about ever again. But then there's people that I feel like because of the energy that they give out, I feel like it's important to still talk about them to a certain degree, depending on what their message is. So my message when it comes to talking about Loren in this particular video, okay? And to be fair, this reason still probably does stand for the others as well. I mean, obviously, originally it was all because he was on the show. Okay, that's literally it. And also, he is still on the show, to be fair, until the tale was over, right? So that's just mandatory, right? But when we talk about things that are outside of the show, okay? The thing is, when somebody is spreading misinformation, I feel like it's important that it is spoken about. So therefore, people who have been given misinformation can hopefully stumble across this video and be told that, hey, this is not the information that should be said, okay? But also on top of that, when it comes to talking about the post in particular, because Jamal has come out to speak out against Loren, I feel like it's important to then also speak about this because I would like to see if I can encourage other cast members to also be vocal as well. Because 1 being vocal, 2 being vocal, 3 being vocal, 5 being vocal, 10 being vocal is not enough. We definitely need more being vocal. And to be fair, sometimes we even get situations where Statler will say something about the team, but then we get someone like an Armando or Kenneth come out saying that, oh no, this is not true. And these are things that are very irritating because we do need them. Well, if anything, if they want to benefit better moving forward, we need them to stand together, especially if we want to get better cast members on the show moving forward. Cast members that we truly feel like we relate to, because as of late, from my perspective, we have a cast members that I relate to the least, and more cast members that I can just point out what they're doing wrong and how it can then hopefully help you guys see that, hey, if you ever come across people who are behaving like this way, watch out for these signs, because my goal is to obviously point out the signs that we should all be looking for whenever we are in our own personal lives. Now, also on top of that, here's another thing. We go back to the post of in particular. This is the post here itself in general, okay? All right, in fact, it's actually 2, because obviously this is the original one, and obviously here we do see that we have got, obviously cast members that did come out and say, well said, young man. Then we've also got someone who wasn't a part of 90 Day Fiancé, but was a part of another show, Match Me Abroad, which I am still waiting for another season. I don't know why we haven't another season yet. I personally like the first season, but I'm hearing that apparently they're not bringing it back for another season, which is weird, because if you brought back MILF Manor for 2 seasons, come on now, All right, come on. Yeah. And there's far worse shows they've got on the network that they bring back year in and year out. Okay, let's not forget about that. But let's just read what was said here. Jamal is correct. It's hard to believe Loren is this bad of a guy. I don't know why it's hard to believe that Loren is this bad of a guy. And every week he manages to outdo himself. Well, if he's outdoing himself every week, then doesn't that mean that he really is that much of a bad of a guy? And next week he will shock by going even lower. That literally confirms he's literally this bad of a guy, right? Or am I reading this incorrectly? I don't know. Let me know about that. Yes, this man is a freaking father, okay? And it is absolutely disturbing that he is. But to be fair, I did like this comment himself in particular. This guy seriously gives law enforcement needs to go through your computer and phone vibes, if you know what I mean. Listen, this man gives the vibes that he shouldn't be allowed to use any type of device whatsoever that allows him on the internet, okay? First and foremost. That's the vibe he's given, and I feel like there are some people who may have not read this type of energy from Loren. And that's why it's important to address this type of information out here to say, hey guys, if you ever come across someone like this, just be careful who you want to maybe, and when I say like this, I don't mean necessarily Loren in particular, but if you know anyone that has the same type of energy as him, be careful about who you want to bring around him, if you know what I mean. But I'm not going to do it in a cryptic way. I'll keep it a buck. I'll keep it straightforward. Personally, would I want this guy anywhere near my children? Hell to the no. If I'm walking down the street and I come across a guy like Loren, and all of a sudden he's giving me some sort of vibe. I mean, to be fair, sometimes you have to speak to someone to get the vibe, of course, not necessarily just judge a book by its cover. But we all do it, don't we? Now, let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things we definitely have to be aware of. But all I'm saying is this. Let me give you a story. Let me give you a perfect example. Okay, I know someone. Okay, who's a mother. Okay, and she's got a daughter, right? And this is what happened. One of the daughter's parents wanted her daughter to sleep over their house. But then what happened was that parent then said, oh, which was the mother herself, said, oh no, I can't, I won't be there, but my husband will be. I don't know if it's her husband or ex-husband, one of the two. But here's the thing though. Do you know what she didn't know? But she found out just in time. She found out that this man had a record of being an alcoholic, all right? And there was something else that I can't remember. But because she finally found out this information, she was like, yeah, no. My daughter's not getting picked up by you. My daughter's not staying at yours. My daughter ain't getting nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we have to be careful of who we want around our children, because we don't know what people can do, if you know what I mean. I hope I'm making sense here. But my point being is, if you know someone like a Loren, I don't care how long you've been friends with them and how well you trust them, would you truly want them? In fact, I've got another story for you guys just to, really get my picture out there. So, here's the thing, okay? With the same friend, okay? Had a best friend for years, since school times. And her friend was somebody that was definitely out there on the streets, shall I say. And also, not only out there on the streets, but somebody that was also very happy to, you know, be high sometimes, as well as take whatever else, substance, whatever, right? And this is a friend that she thought she could trust, but they'd been best friends since school high. But guess what? One time she left her daughter with her friend, and the next thing you know, she found out that her friend had taken substances around her daughter. Do you see what I'm saying? And also on top of not only just that, but the same friend had also allowed her partner, who was, I mean, honestly, I can't believe this is even legitimately true, but this is true. Her friend ended up being with a guy that was actually arrested once upon a time for child involvement. I'm going to put it in that way. Do you see what I'm saying? So sometimes we think we can trust certain people, but in reality, can we trust somebody who gives off vibes of not giving a shit about anybody else? The examples that I give you may not be the same as Loren, because Loren isn't exactly on any substance, but they have the similarity of the fact that, can we trust somebody who doesn't give a shit about choices? Jamal spoke about choices. He does not care about the choices he makes and how they affect others. And this is why we speak about people like Loren, and why they have to be voiced and they have to be pointed out. But if we don't point them out and we see them as just taboo, or we see as, oh, why are we talking about this cloud again? Well, pay attention to the information that I'm telling you of why we are talking about somebody like him. Because somebody like him is an example of the kind of person that you want to keep your children away from, or anyone else around you. But I will say this though. This is not me saying that Loren himself in particular is somebody that is dangerous to be around kids. I am not saying that he is any of these things. I'm saying that the vibe that he gives off is why I'm saying what I'm saying. And if he wants to change that type of vibe, he needs to behave better. Better. I think I've said that enough times now. But with that being said though, let me know your thoughts down below. And again, you know, more cast members really should be coming together because come on, man. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm done. I'm out. Peace.